Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of... Oh my god, I gotta change the background. Holy I interrupted myself and cussed. I realize I've got gaming bits in the background, and that should not be the opening.
Perfect one, and he's just got to ruin it all.
More technical difficulties, folks.
Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweetin, and joining me around the nerd circle, or the Ethernet circle, are my beautiful, close, wonderful friends joining me for a very special episode today. First off, we have, I know, you and you, yeah, both of you, in fact, yep, you're here. But for our listeners at home who might not be watching the YouTube channel, we are joined by the Matthew Johnson. Welcome, sir.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Quite well, and I'm hoping our other host, the Nick Thomas, is equally doing well, sir. Welcome.
Howdy ho, good neighbor. I'm doing fantastic, and not so dry today.
Probably not with that wine. Definitely not a dry wine. No, but guys, I said it's a special, about as special as last episode. Not quite. More of a turning point. New chapter for Nerdentials here, dude. We're talking about, we're in the triple digits now. Like, we're moving past that point. We just had our episode 100.
Nerdgasms.
Yeah,
Point of no return. That's what you're referring to. We're screwed.
That's right. Your soulless body has now been locked since we can't lock. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. We can't bind your soul. We can't bind your soul because you don't got one. But your body has been bound to the show.
He lost his mat. Did you hear that?
It was more of a metaphor. Losing my mind, like in the process of. Sorry.
Oh, gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, over here.
No more references. Let's just get this out of the way, guys. Welcome to 101. And no, this is not like a beginner's class on anything. It's episode 101.
Nerdentials 101, where we tell you what not to do.
I guess they could all make that their own judgments on that, based on how well we deliver today's information.
I mean, we always suck at this anyway, so I mean... Oh.
So, consider it a roadmap on what not to do.
As he grabs more wine.
just keep sipping, Nick. Just keep sipping.
One bottle down.
Oh, geez. I know, I messed it up earlier. Wait, what did I say? Anyway, guys, we just had episode 100. If you guys didn't check it out, and this is your first time here, or you haven't been back in a while, go check out 100. We had a nice, wonderful reunion with some older hosts, and also before this episode, or about the time, maybe this week with this episode, you'll finally also see the 4 years of outtakes reel that I've been compiling over 4 years. So go check those things out. I know, Matthew, I've got
I'm just telling you guys right now, I'm glad you're here with us. And if you like what you're hearing so far, the shenanigans and all that, and what you've seen in the past, if you haven't done so yet, smash that like, tickle that subscribe, and fondle that follow. We'd much appreciated it.
How about tickle that bell?
I said what I said.
Dear God. No, it's true though. We're in episode 101, triple digits from here on out for all episodes considered. And guys, it's been a fun 4 years, and here's to another 4 years of fun times.
Yeah.
4. You quitting on me?
No, I would like to. It's common to just wish to double the amount of years you've spent so far doing this particular thing, Nick. If we were talking friendship, I'd say here's to another decade. Here's to another 2 decades. Whatever you want.
You and me.
We've been friends for a while. Close to 2 decades. Close.
You think you can get rid of me?
Well, he keeps threatening to quit on us, so I'm surprised I haven't gotten rid of you yet.
Quit.
Oh!
No, don't worry, guys. Matt's like General Lords, just when you thought he's gone. Nope.
That was perfect timing to his screen coming back right to his face.
You're welcome for that one.
Anyway, guys, without further ado, this is a variety episode, and going forward... Did you just snort wine?
I was just about to say I'm like the butt of all jokes, but that goes along with the whole genital herpes thing too.
Yeah, guys, if you're not watching us on YouTube and you're only hearing us in your earbuds via podcast, go check out the YouTubes. The reactions are often almost as hilarious or more than what has been said.
More than likely.
But guys, we're going to kick off episode 101, and going forward, we're going to try our darndest to go full-blown weekly for once. I know. Well, we've done it in the past here and there, but we're going to shoot for weekly finally, and we're going to keep it close to an hour, guys. It's going to be a variety show. Every week, we're going to cover movie, TV, and video games. And throughout those 3 main topics we cover every week, if we hit a topic that you guys felt super strongly interested in or want to hear more of our banter on, if we didn't go deep enough into it, leave a comment down below making that request, because we're open to doing deep dives in addition to our weekly show.
Or if there's a show or something, movie that
we
you guys have seen, and you want us to watch it and do a review on it, let us know.
That's another great idea. Something we haven't seen yet. What?
Dude, yeah. No, that's a fantastic idea. Something that we wouldn't normally watch. Someone that just likes to follow us. You're like, hey, you know what? They have funny stuff to say about things. I want to hear their take on it. Dudes.
There could be some things said
Hit us up.
Some laughs had. So, guys, without further ado, we're going to jump into our first topic for today's episode. Let's hit up Gaming Bits. Guys, welcome to Gaming Bits. Feels good to say that. It's been a little too long for me, but we have a particular topic. Well, because there was the reunion, and then there was a couple weeks of editing, and finally we're back to talking about gaming. Outside of, obviously, playing the games. Guys, there's a lot of things in the gaming industry to talk about. BlizzCon just happened. Good lord. Nintendo Direct just dumped a handful of new things. There's a lot going on news-wise, but today we'll come back full circle next week and cover a little bit of that. Today, the 3 of us amigos wanted to mainly talk about our experience with a specific game called Outriders. Outriders is a 3-player co-op looter shooter, essentially. It's not an MMO, and it's not just co-op. It's a combination of a few games, and we'll get into that in a minute, but it's published by Square Enix, and some of the devs from Square Enix worked alongside with the developers, People Can Fly, and have put together this game kind of out of nowhere. I mean, over the last year or 2, we heard little bits about it, but the full demo, 3 weeks prior to release, dropped, and more than expected jumped on. I think last week they hit over 2 million players getting on, is what I read. So there were some hiccups with servers. It seems like it's pretty smooth right now. And me, Nick, and Matt, actually, it's on our channel right now on YouTube, so go check out the playthrough. But we're going to talk about our experience, our likes, our dislikes, what our hopes are for the full version of the game, which comes out March 31st. So we are definitely going to jump back into it because we all kind of, generally speaking, liked the demo quite a bit, at least enough to pick our interest into checking out the full version and see where that takes us. So without further ado, guys, before getting our first impressions that I want to pass around to you guys, I just wanted to have Nick read off kind of the premise for this game, just the general. I'm gonna pass it off to you, Nick. I think you've got some kind of description of the story of the game that we're working with, so let me pass it off to you for a moment. What's this game about?
All right, Outriders takes place in a future where Earth is no longer viable planet to live on. Constant war and climate change has made the planet unsustainable for human civilization. Humanity's efforts to colonize the new alien planet Enoch went astray as the expedition team encountered a massive energy storm known as the Anomaly.
The Anomaly.
During their search for a mysterious signal, which may indicate hope for humanity's future, the storm grants both Enoch's inhabitants and the colonists superpowers. This is a third-person back view, much like that of Gears of War or games of the type like Mass Effect,
that's a good one, yeah.
Is a looter shooter RPG cooperative game.
We'll get into that. What's interesting, so just from my own memory, dude, because everyone has access to the demo right now. Full game's not out yet, and it's free to play the demo. It's essentially the first, depending on how quick you are and whether or not you skip the tutorial, it's 2 to 3 hours of what they are claiming is roughly a 30-plus hour campaign, main story, like co-opable or solo. You can solo the whole thing, but it is always open for co-oping up to 3 players, and it does have a loot-based system that scales with your character and higher rewards for higher difficulty. It's reminiscent to the Diablo setting, where the higher tier level of the world environment means bigger rewards for all the loot you get from bosses and chests and whatnot. It's co-opable, much like Gears of War or Destiny 2. The difference and people will try to compare it to Destiny 2 only on the premise that it is a looter shooter. The difference there, though, is that while Destiny is not a straight MMO, it's also not just a co-op game. It's a shared world shooter, which I think Bungie probably coined the phrase because there is a shared space where there are upwards of 10 to 15 active people, strangers you don't know, running around the tower, the headquarter area, right? In this game, there are no other players, only those you invite directly into your fire team of 3 people. So, it's not an open world thing. It's an open world game, but it's not an MMO. And it's not a shared world shooter. This game is interesting and unique, and I want to pass around the table, but it's a mix of several types of games. You've got cover-based combat like Gears of War. You've got loot pools like Destiny 2, but more like Diablo 3 because it's not an MMO and it's not a shared world. So it's weird. It's got its fingers in multiple pies, if you will, for the genre. And the story is interesting. So I guess I'm giving you guys my hot take, and I'll pass it off to you guys in just a sec. Graphically, it's fairly unique. We haven't gotten far enough into the game because it's only the first 3 hours. It's not the most gorgeous game in the world. It is on the Unreal Engine, and so it's definitely geared for a next-gen upgrade, which if you look on the store, it says it'll be available for future optimization whenever they go that route, upscaling textures, resolution, what have you. I guess there was so much feedback in this open free playtime that they already released or are going to release a patch to rebalance weapon loot And I guess there's quite a few exploits happening too, where some people are cheating the system and full blown racking up legendary weapons in the demo, which I didn't know that was possible, but I read about that. So they're already nerfing stuff and rebalancing things, and it's only the demo. Like, that's what's nuts. The game's not even out yet, but they're already actively trying to, rebalance, take feedback, which is promising for its future, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Overall, I had a good time with the co-op. I think this definitely is something that is probably going to be more enjoyable with friends than complete soloing. I don't know till we see more of the story and more of the campaign, but I definitely had a blast playing with you guys. We'll talk more about it in a second, but I want to get your guys' hot takes on this. So, if you're cool, Matt, if you got some words, I want to pass it off to you.
So a game that this kind of reminded me of is The Division. Just pretty much straight up to where the loot, you'll go into a world tier, on the demo it goes up to tier 5, and things are going to drop at your whatever you want to call it level, or a couple levels above you, just like in The Division. And it's cross between The Division, Gears of War, and almost Destiny, but not quite Destiny. Just for the simple fact of it is only just you three instead of other
Shared
people
world
out there around there.
I would almost say instead of Destiny, because the point of view and the style it is, you could almost throw that one as, even though the game failed and flopped miserably and we all were upset about it, Anthem.
Anthem tried to do what Outriders is currently doing. We can open that up later. Matt, additional thoughts. Go ahead.
For me, I'm intrigued by the storyline. I kind of want to see where it goes. That's my aspect of it. Gameplay wise, the movement's a little bit staggery, but at the same time, this was only a demo, so hopefully there's some sort of boost in what kind of movement there is as far as everything goes, because there was places where you should have been able to probably jump up to, but could not because it's very linear.
I do want to add to that, Matthew. Sorry, not to interject too much, but this is like Gears of War. It's zero jumping. There is no actual jumping in the game.
Right.
And the staggering, I agree with you, but I feel that is more of the internet server base smoothness of it as opposed to necessarily the mechanics. Because at when I was solo, it was fluid, top to bottom fluid. I don't know if in a huge battle with everyone together, if that's a server problem or there's just too many things on screen, but I think it's more server lag than necessarily mechanical game. The game itself, I don't think necessarily suffers from fluidity. I thought the gunplay might be weak in your opinion because it's third person and you're used to Destiny and Call of Duty, which is a lot sharper and a lot more precise, but running around was really fast and fluid to me.
Well, no, with the Division, I love the hell out of the Division. That game, I maxed my character out basically. Not the second one, because I didn't buy that until later on, and people were already breaking that game.
Okay,
so
but let's just finish the point you made though. What's the comparison with what you feel is smooth gameplay in Division versus maybe it needs a few polishes on Outriders? What's your comparison between the two?
So with as far as the mounting thing in Outriders,
mounting. What is mounting? Are you talking about cover base?
Going over?
Oh,
no,
hopping over
things,
things.
and hopping up stuff.
Oh.
Like it was not fluid whatsoever.
No,
like,
I
it
agree
was
with
just,
you. Sorry, I completely agree with you. Now that you specified what you're talking about is laggy, 100%. You're right. No, you're right. It required that you take cover and then jump over it. You couldn't just fluidly run and jump over it. You're right. The parkour element is not there. There is a lack of fluidity with that, and I don't know. Hopefully they add that. No, I agree with you completely. I know what you're saying. I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, like the weapons, the fire rates, they seem to be pretty good. And I had fun with it. The armor looks nice. I just want to see like how many more other mods, or not mods,
Variations of your
variations
armor
of
and
like
weapons.
base and stuff that you can like actually do
Yeah.
in the actual game. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty good demo. A lot of people were kind of skeptical about it, but it's definitely got me intrigued. So that's probably one reason I'm going to be getting it when it comes out.
Right on, dude. Let's toss over to Nick. Nick, your first impressions on Outriders Demo.
I loved it. I played it with you guys, then I started playing it another day with Matt, and we kind of just got stuck in it for hours. It's one of those games that was really fun. You just run. The demo was very short, but you could rerun all the missions over and over and over and over again. So it was kind of cool trying to figure out exactly what your character was able to do, the different abilities, actually kind of get a feel of everything. The demo, for what it is very inclusive, able to show a lot of what the game actually does. Yes, there's some hitches here and there where it's not working as smoothly as it should, because it's not a completed version of the game, and I completely understand that. And every time one of those little issues came up, I would actually say across the comms, it's not completed. They will fix it.
In our playthroughs, I re-listening to our recordings, I recall you mentioning many times. I wasn't saying it out of grief. Like anytime I pointed out a problem,
there was one part in the game where I used like one of my special abilities as the Trickster, and it teleports you.
Yeah, yeah.
I found myself inside where the enemies were coming out of, toward like you weren't supposed to be in there at all.
Yeah.
And I was able to shoot them through the wall.
Past the spawn point for them.
This should not be.
So what you're saying is you teleported into the enemy's booty hole.
Oh, man. Colorful.
The doorway where they were coming at. Okay, yeah, sure.
You came at them from behind.
Yes.
Use the back door.
I was going in dry.
Any more innuendos, Nick?
No, but actually, for people that haven't played it yet, I do have a quick rundown of the 4 character classes. We all played through them and all that, if you'd like.
Yeah, hey, let's just also share in this moment, and then I'll let you explain each one. The cool thing about this demo is it takes you through a solo play of the prologue, and roughly, if you listen to all the dialogue and take your time, the prologue roughly takes a full hour. If you're listening to all the character dialogue options and you don't skip anything and you let the cinematics play, it's about an hour. Our first video of this is me running a full hour through the prologue, and then the additional 2 videos I posted are me, Matt, and Nick co-oping the 2 missions available. We may, depending on how we feel about it, we may go back and do some of the side stuff in a video. Matthew.
You mean the other 2 videos where Nick was at the freaking shop pretty much like for like 20, 30 minutes just chilling?
On a side note, did you rewatch any of the edits?
Yeah.
Did you like them? I left in some of those moments. They're funny. I encourage anyone that hasn't seen them, go check them out. They're hilarious. But
I was shopping, damn it.
And I'm like, no, first it was Matt. Matt, you were down there first. I'm like, Matt's down there. And then I did a quick cut because we were messing around. And then I'm like, now Nick's down there. Really? We're trying to get on with the mission. And like, you guys didn't go down there together. You went down at separate times. But so yeah, the game I think is regardless of how good the core game becomes, it's definitely co-oping it is going to bring a lot of delight if you've got some good friends to play with. Didn't want to cut off Nick early. I missed the point thought I was going to make. Oh, the classes. Nick wanted to just cover the classes real quick. The thing I wanted to point out is you do the hour prologue, and then after you've played through the whole demo, you can build a new character, and you can skip the prologue, and it takes you right up to the point where you choose what path you want to take, which is your character class. And so literally you could just jump in, you can create 4 different characters and try all 4 classes, which is, I think, really cool. A cool thing they did for this demo is let you see all the different paths you could take for abilities. Nick, go ahead and give us a rundown of those 4.
Yeah, just for the folks listening, I'm going to do a quick rundown of what the classes are. There's certain ones I haven't played and certain ones others have played. So after I do a quick rundown, I'll pass it off to the person that has played it. So the first one here on my list is the Pyromancer. Pyromancer, just as it sounds, summons flames of glory and burns opponents into dust.
Ash. Oh.
The basics of this one, he's a medium range character that conjures fire. The way each character has their own way of healing, and this one, whatever target you have engulfed in flames, and as they're writhing in pain and you kill them, you gain life from them.
I think the fast track explanation, Nick, and I'll just throw this out there for the 4 dummies section of these side notes. Regular bullet killing only gives you a tiny little fraction of your health back, but any enemy that gets touched by your, air quotes, anomaly power and ability, that adds a good chunk of health back to you. So no matter what class you are, if you hit them with that ability and then they die, you get a lot more health back. Go ahead, Nick.
When I looked at it and I actually played them, each character actually does heal specifically. The Pyromancer, you have to have them engulfed in flames to heal from that. That's where you get your massive amount of heals. Then after that, we have the Technomancer. This one is a true support class for this game. It's the only one out of all the classes that can also heal their friends. Well, their healing for them doesn't come from using their abilities. Just dealing damage automatically heals them. You don't have to use your anomaly building damage or anything. It's just damage is turned back to healing to him.
Nice.
Now, the Technomancer, what they do is they're more of a long-range support character that uses gadgets. They use their anomaly powers to bring constructs alive. So between throwing grenades and making turrets that shoot their enemies and freeze people, it's kind of that route. Another thing I noticed, and I brought up to Matt during our gameplay, is each class kind of takes an element. So where the Pyromancer obviously is fire, the Technomancer, it looks like it revolves more around cryo, cold.
I played that one. I played both of them actually, and yeah. So
since you played both, what do you think of the Pyromancer?
What's cool is each of the abilities of these classes does a different visual effect on the enemies, and I'll let you guys cover the other 2, but those 2 I did. Pyromancy, certain abilities do turn them to ash. Like, you literally see them turn to like a black statue and then crumble into ash. The Technomancer, literally the melee attack from that turns them into an ice statue, and you can hit them a second time to completely shatter them, or just pull away and shoot at them with your gun. Both directions you take will shatter them completely. And I did Pyromancer as with you guys, I think, during the gameplay. There's an ability where you launch this tunneling attack underground with fire, and it shoots up a geyser of flame that lifts the enemy up into the air, and then a couple seconds later makes him explode into a gory... It's like confetti, but blood. And those were all unique and cool and exhilarating in their own ways. The range thing was also kind of cool because the grenade ability is not just throwing a grenade. If you hold down the target and it gives you a second to choose where to throw it, you can then launch it, and once it's launched, it'll land on the ground, and if it's right next to enemies, it'll pop back up into the air and explode, completely splattering multiple enemies at once. And then Nick told me, based on his brief experience, that you get to a point of leveling that up to where you can actually fire off 5 grenades in a row, and pew, 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 and then if you got a massive... Anyway, Technomancer, I think, was fun if you like ranged stuff.
Yeah. To better talk about that, actually, it wasn't actually leveling up the character. I'm pretty sure leveling up the character, you increased abilities.
Yeah.
But it was actually items I picked up. The items themselves have specific abilities for your character's
It boosted your anomaly ability, yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we can talk about that another time, but those are the two I want to let you guys time to talk about the classes you played as. I've actually played and tried all 4, and I enjoyed each one in different ways, but Nick, go ahead and tell us about yours, and Matt can talk about his.
The next class is the Trickster. This is one that Matt played quite a bit, and it looked like he enjoyed the hell out of it. And just watching him play it, it's one I will definitely have to try. The Trickster is the close range, hit and run kind of thing. It almost looks like he messes with electricity and time.
Uh-huh.
Its description is its damage bends laws of space and time to appear out of nowhere. Assassinate your enemies and return to safety in the blink of an eye. To heal with this character, each enemy killed in close range heals you and grants a portion of shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Matt, what did you think of this character?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Matt.
I love the crap out of it. It's literally like playing like an assassin. On any other game type that you're going to play with, like RPG style. The first ability that you have is this
that time bubble
slice. No.
Oh.
So the first one is like this electric slice that will go like if you're close to like 5 or 6 enemies, it does damage to all of them, and if they're low enough, it will cause them to electrify and ash.
I just want to add to that, like I was saying about the other abilities, each like first ability does a unique thing graphically to the enemies. So the Pyromancer makes them into ash, the Technomancer makes them into ice statues that can shatter. Your Trickster ability, literally you get to watch your enemies get electrocuted, and all that remains is literally their full skeletons that fall to the ground. And so that's not ash, but you still see their skeletons for a few minutes after they've dropped.
Yeah. And then what Joe was talking about with the second ability is controlling time. It gives you, it's a little bubble that pops around. You stand in the middle, and it goes out to like 1 or 2 meters. And it slows everything down. Not your teammates. Your teammates can still move around inside.
That part was so cool because I didn't know that until I walked into your bubble. I'm like, oh, sweet, I can still shoot them for you.
Yeah. And then the third ability that got unlocked was the teleport, which comes in so handy because it allows you to look at an enemy, zap right behind them, and if you have your other abilities like right available to you, you could do a massive amount of damage basically. And the fourth one was you basically take your anomaly ability and make bullets, your ammo turn into like piercing black bullets, essentially. I didn't really find that all too good, but probably playing along later on, I'll probably play with it a little bit more. But the first three abilities, like I was having too much fun, especially when me and Nick were playing. He was playing the Technomancer, and like his thing would like freeze somebody, and I would zap straight to him, and I would take out like 5, 6 of them all at the same time.
Yeah, there's definitely good combos between different characters. Now, one thing I noticed about the Trickster, I don't know if you noticed this from when you're up close and personal, But when you're standing outside of that bubble and you're looking in, when you launch that bubble and everything in the bubble gets X-rayed.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So it looks like there's skeletons all around you as you're fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Even bosses, you can see their skeleton, even though it won't kill them because it's not strong enough, but it'll still show off their skeleton briefly when you throw down that attack.
Yeah.
It was definitely fun. I can't wait to like try out the other things, because in the demo you come across a trickster in the beginning of the game that basically
Is
using
top tier.
telekinesis. Yeah. And I'm just like, yes. So
Nicholas, we got one
the
more.
last class is the Devastator. This would be the true tank class of this game. He's all close range tank. His big thing is quite literally standing his ground. The element that's most
deal more.
Yeah, the element that's most associated with him is like earth and rock and stone and just
Hulk smash.
Yeah. His damage, you're actually supposed to try to get in and get in as close as possible, because the way you heal is anything that's killed in close proximity to you. Now, all his abilities, when you're up close and personal and you pop these abilities, where you have stuff turning to ash and skeletons just falling and stuff getting frozen and crumbling, everything pops like grapes around the Devastator.
It does.
He has this ground slam thing where he like punches the ground and a ricochet of earth just shatters in front of him. Anybody that's in that's gonna die, they just like explode into rains of gore and blood.
It's like Gears of War head popping.
Yes. The second ability you get with that is what's called the Golem. He quite literally like channels the anomaly, and pieces of earth and dirt and mud and rock and all this just like attach to him and creates like an exoskeleton of just rock and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, dude.
His third ability, which is the one I really loved, is like the Trickster, how you have that ability to teleport. This one quite literally jumps up into the air and does a Superman like dive and crash into a target, where he'll jump up in the air and you pick a target. You have a few seconds to pick a target and it lights it up, and you launch directly to that target and you hit. And most targets you land on that aren't bosses, they just erupt into just explosions of gore. You just see everything go.
You referenced the Titan class from Destiny because one of the supers of a Titan was that, like, recently, a year ago, was launching into the air and then coming back down. And I watched you do it.
It felt very much like the Striker Titan.
I watched you do it in our play of Outriders 2. I watched you, and then I saw you just slam down on the boss after. I was like, whoa, there's Nick.
And I'm watching the damage that I do it. It's actually very effective. But one of the cool things about it is the ability you get after that is called Bullet Reflect.
Ooh.
He quite literally does this like Neo thing where he holds up his hands and catches all the bullets coming at him in like a force field and fires them back at all the targets.
Yeah, I remember Nick telling me about that. I was like, dude.
Yeah. No, this game was, even as the demo, with all its glitches and all its bugs and all of our disconnects and all the things that made us want to pull at our hair, I actually think I'm going to love this game, and I'm going to spend a lot of time in it. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to spend a lot of time in this with my friends.
I want to add one thing, Nick. Matthew. I want to add one thing. Two of those disconnects that we got to experience that was kind of impressive. There's other games we've played where you're in a mission, even a story mission, and if you lose connection, sometimes it's impossible to jump back in until you're out of whatever it is you're doing. And now I don't know if there's going to be anything like raids or strikes or anything that inclusive, because those are like kind of have been for years impossible to jump back into immediately with Destiny. But In the 2 missions we played, we lost you on our first mission, Nick, and it was only a couple minutes later you got back in, you connected to us, and you jumped right back into the middle of a massive firefight that me and Matt were still in. We kept shooting, and you just very smoothly and effortlessly jumped right back in and added support. I thought
one of the things this game totes is full jump in, jump out co-op.
And I hope it gets even smoother, and I hope they keep the focus on that ability, because that just makes the game so much more open to, like, I can't hop on, I'll hop in a little bit, and even if you're in the literal middle of a fight, I can join you guys and add support if it's just you two, you know what I mean? Like, that's such a cool thing that so many other games try to promote or want to shoot for, and so far this is one of the few, if not only, games I've seen recently that's actually I've actually witnessed it happen smoothly. Not smoothly, but quickly, like in a short period, like in a matter of 2-3 minutes, you were back in, and I was like, that is so cool.
I gotta say something about the disconnects and stuff like that. The people over at Square Enix and people that can fly, they weren't prepared for this. They didn't expect it to be this big. The reason why there were so many disconnects and so many server issues is they had way more traffic than they ever thought was going to happen for the demo. Yeah, like you were saying, the ability to drop in, drop out, and all that not only makes it more open, it makes it more approachable. There are times that, like, my friends are like, "Hey, can you help me with this? I'm stuck on this one little part." Okay, if for me to get to there, I'm gonna have to jump in the game, go from the beginning of the level, and get to you. No, you jump in, you're right there with them, you're ready to go, you're helping them instantly.
Like for instance, co-op in Halo. I don't know about the new Infinite coming out. You know, I don't know in 343 is going to be doing, but in the past, even with Halo, there's something we've all loved and spent a lot of time in together as friends. You'd have to wait till you were in a safe zone. If your co-op partner was being shot at, the game wouldn't let you spawn back in. But literally, me and Matt were like getting pulverized. I was surrounded by dozens of enemies, and Nick was able to just instantly spawn in. I was like, thank you. Finally a game that lets you do that and doesn't wait for certain rules to apply before they can bring in your friend. I'm like, dude, that is so cool.
And just a forewarning for parents out there that are going to play this game, do not play it in front of the kids, because this is like way too gory.
There's language, gore. The way that little shopkeeper keeps looking at me, I'm pretty sure it's going to have other stuff.
It's like Mortal Kombat meets freaking like Gears of War, basically. Like
Gears of War is gory, but this is like water balloons filled with blood. It's like, whoa.
And even like some of the Professor Broman played the demo, and he had a thing on Instagram where he shot a shotgun and popped 3 heads off at the same time because they lined up pretty. Yeah. And he was just like, "That was so brutal," and started laughing. I was just like, yeah, kids don't need to see this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, concluding thought, I'd like to wrap up with just this. What is each one of our hopes for the full version? What do we hope to see that we didn't see? We're all going to go back and play it. We've already said that, and we've enjoyed what we saw so far. What's one thing we each hope to see in the full version? Or in the future of it, rather, even.
Being Square Enix, I hope they really lean into their RPG roots and give you the ability to customize your character as much as they have in the past. And I'm hoping that it's not just the character customization, but almost like custom stories for your character. Like, Nick, you can choose which way to go.
I don't usually interrupt our final thoughts, but I want you to, you said customization. Can you point out what you're able to do immediately when jumping in with your buddies that we decided all to do right at the beginning, even before missions started, that you can't do in most RPGs? and it doesn't require a vendor. You just go to this little box, and what can you do?
Yeah, there's a box that allows for cosmetic customization immediately. Even though you've already created your character and your character looks like this person, I went from being a Nord Viking looking dude to
Carlos Latino.
Yeah, no, it's
sorry.
The way you could change it on the fly was kind of cool.
Something so
I
many
see
people
where that can lead to some continuity issues, but
while I completely agree, I still think there's so many people out there that get invested and play these games that just wish they could do one little thing different or change something. I will say this: this isn't a game seller by saying this, but hey, Destiny players, you can have beards, and if you want to change them, you can change them. Bungie, come on. Check out this character customization. Yes, aside from that...
I want my awoken female character to have a beard.
Well, there's a lot of options, I'll give you that, but they don't completely... It's not sim level. You know, I mean, they don't give you that much freedom.
You can only do like so much with Destiny, like as far as like how your face looks and stuff. The ability to actually like change it and be like, you know what? I don't want to have a beard on my guy. Let's take that off, and then let's give him purple hair.
That's all I'm saying, dude. Is just the fact that you can. Ah, man, because like Cyberpunk 2077, it's trying to do the Grand Theft Auto thing and be wide open world and give you all these options, but you can't even change your haircut. Like, maybe they'll add that or change it later down the road. There's a lot of controversy with that game. We're not talking about that today, or this morning. But the point is like, there's a lot with that with open world games, and this one is not super open world. It's not a huge thing, but it's got a lot of freedom in your visuals and the fact that you can change it post creation. Like, immediately when you get back in the game, you're like, crap, I really don't like how I looked in that cinematic. Go ahead and change it. And then the following cinematics later in the story, you're going to look like the guy you changed it to. It's really cool.
Or like what happened in our instance where we got in the game and like, hey, we look exactly the same.
The only difference was one had a ponytail and one didn't. That was it. I was the one that like actually kind of like resembled me. And then
as best as possible, yeah.
Yeah. So like I had to change it.
My ginger beard didn't
come through
too gingery.
Not as beautifully as yours does here.
Yes. The thing that I'm looking forward to is like they say that this is supposed to be like 34 hours plus.
Just for
I'm hoping that sticks to it because like there's
to get to the end of the story, even yeah,
like there's been games that have said that. And you do it within 20 hours of gameplay.
Or
because
10 or 15 hours even.
But here's the thing. Square Enix, you got to admit that Square Enix says, hey, this has 20 hours of gameplay. And then 380 hours later, you're still trying to get past the first disc, and you're like, what the hell?
I do want to point out in recent experience, they don't develop everything that they publish, but Square Enix put out the Avengers game, and even though it wasn't the greatest thing in the world and it wasn't the most polished, that was a 20-plus hour game, and even just hitting straight through it, doing none of the side stuff, it took me 20-plus hours. I did a 21 video series full walkthrough of it, and I didn't even touch the side quests or side missions. And it was a constant moving story that had a lot of direction, a lot of different character changes. And so I have that hope for it too. My hope is that, yeah, like you, Matt, that it's an awesome 30 freaking hours plus of continuously moving story that while we're having fun and us spending time together, we're probably going to double that time just in the amount of time we're wasting with the vendor and me making fun of you guys for being at the vendor. And I'm like, come on guys, let's get to the next mission. I think we're going to double the time personally with our time with it, but I hope that even just the story itself is at least that, Yeah.
No,
I agree.
I could say this for me. I can almost guarantee it. We're gonna have a playthrough of this, whether it's just Joe or all of us together. I hope that it's all of us playing it together, because that would be great. Because this was the first 3-person let's
Playthrough
play
recording
style
we've ever
playthrough,
done.
and it was fun. The game kept us interested. We were excited about all the new things that we saw here and there, and it's extensive. You look at the skill tree, you look at all that. There's so much that we're going to be able to do that we haven't even been able to dive into, because it's a demo. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get stale on us.
No,
Yes.
because this is not. It's yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like Avengers. Biggest complaint was that grinding for the loot became repetitive, and still is. There are all the side missions that I didn't touch in my playthrough were very repetitive things. But what's cool about that is I just, for the playthrough purpose on our channel, I stuck to just the main storyline, none of the redundancy, and I got almost 20 plus hours out of not repeating anything. And so that's my hope with this one, is we get our, close to 30 hours of just seeing new things constantly, getting to the end of the story.
And I'm hoping that they stick with what they said about everything that we get in the demo.
Carries.
Takes along with carries
They
into the.
they said all our
'cause
stats are going to carry over.
Destiny said that, and
Oh.
it didn't.
Oh, really? I wasn't
Yeah.
there for the beginning of
So
that.
the demo of Destiny, they said you could get up to like level 8, and you would start at level 8 in the game.
Oh, and it didn't?
It did not happen.
I'm putting my hand over my mouth. They're
Didn't
not
the
Bungie, and Bungie's not Square Enix, so...
The Destiny 2 demo did, though.
Mm-mm. You had to start from, because with Destiny 2, you started with the character that you had from Destiny 1. My character was maxed out
Oh.
from Destiny 1. So me taking it over into Destiny 2,
No. The reason why I'm saying it, you got all that stuff, is because after you play through the prologue of the original thing, anything you got in the spiral, the demo mission, the strike that you could play before the release of the actual game.
Right.
I had.
There was 2 strikes.
I know those strikes. Everything I got in those demos, I had when I loaded it in Destiny 2. After that first prologue, the intro, you had to wait to go through the whole intro.
Then that was something for, I'm guessing you got, or new players maybe. I don't know, because that would never happen.
It's neither here nor there. For all we have is the now.
This is true. Anyways, I digress.
And we're not talking about Destiny. We're talking about
Outriders.
All right, guys.
Outlanders. Same thing.
Was there anything else you felt overly important to point out right now, or is it best saved for a future episode? I think we've kind of covered everything.
I dig the guy's voice that,
Oh,
for
our main
the
character's
cinematics.
voice?
Yeah.
I like it. I like the voice acting. Female, not because she's female that I think there's anything less of her, but it just doesn't feel as strong of a performance. Just a side note. Complete side note. The voices are good. They're fixed. It's like Mass Effect. You get a fixed voice for Shepard. Female and male. It's one voice,
Right.
But it was a good voice, and it was decent. It was well acted out, in my opinion, for what we saw of the demo. Yeah. So here's looking forward to hopefully a really epic ending to that 30-hour campaign. I can't wait to see what happens. Well, guys, sorry about the weird hard cut, but this is going to wrap up our episode for tonight. Guys, thanks for watching episode 101. We're finally moving forward with the triple digits. You guys, if you're listening to us on podcast form, and we are everywhere podcasts are found, you can also see our faces on YouTube at youtube.com/c/Nerdentials. Or you can go to this one tastefully named website where all our content can be found at nerdentials.com.
No.
Nerdentials
Media.
Holy
Media.com.
Did I really mess that up?
Ooh.
Rewind. You guys can find this at nerdentialsmedia.com.
.com.
Don't worry, I'll keep that blooper in there because that was super classy of me.
You haven't mentioned it in a while because we haven't had it up. Whoa. Make a pill for that.
I want to crop a few things for the end credits. Anyway, guys, all our social media, websites, YouTube, everything's found on that site. Go there. It's up and running. Nick's writing new reviews all the time. I might try to get up some myself. I don't know. That whole getting up thing kind of threw me off. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.
And listening.
And listening, and for me, myself, Matthew and Nick. This has been your Nerdy Essentials. And as always, we'll see you on the other side. Nicholas, let's get to it. Come on, bro. Where are you at?
I was blowing my computer. Leave me alone.